It's Ferisa. Welcome back to my channel. So this week's video is going to be about my horrifying dream that I had April 2016. So a little bit of like dreaming and stuff. I lucid dream. I can control my dreams and stuff like that. And most of the time I can wake myself up in dreams, but in this one in particular I could control my actions, but I could not control nor change what was going on in the dream. So it was pretty horrifying. Yeah, I was trying to do everything in my power to wake myself up and I could not do that. So I actually have a Google Doc that I wrote out the story the morning of. So I'm just gonna go off of it and like all that. I might read some quotes that people said in the story and all that stuff. But yeah. So let's see. We're gonna start out with where things were, and like all that stuff. So I was in an area that was very isolated and stuff like that, where there was just a white house in the middle of nowhere in a field of dried grass, and then around that there was like a tree lining around the whole entire house, kind of like in a circle formation. So if you guys don't know what a tree lining is, it's an area where trees stop growing and they can't stop grow in that specific area. That was where the general like story is and stuff like that. It doesn't switch like where it is, it's always gonna be around that house. So apparently in the house there's like a weird like mix of people. So first off in the story, there was a bigger boy who went and missing from the house that everyone was in. The sister, who was a twin, they were twins, she decided to have me and this little ginger redhead girl, okay, come with her to the tree lining where the trees stopped growing. And apparently he went missing there, so we kind of thought it was sketchy, me and the ginger girl. So the twin ended up yelling the brother's name. I don't remember what his name was, but all of a sudden we heard shuffling off to the distance, and then it stopped. Me and the little ginger girl just kind of look at each other and we're just like, this is really creepy and eerie as Then the twin looked at us, says, "See, nothing was gonna happen. I saw your scared faces while I was yelling his name." Then we all looked in front of us and we saw him. He had an axe in hand and he said, "Why did you call for me? What is wrong with you?" to his twin sister. And he was mad and disturbed and started axing her. And the twin sister was trying to make up some words, but all you heard was the gargling of blood filling her lungs up. Yep. His eyes were drawn by the little ginger girl, and we both started booking it back to the house. And I saw the little ginger girl was kind of not keeping up and all this stuff. She seemed like she was around the age of 7, so I didn't expect her to exactly keep up. But the twin brother was catching up to her, and I just kind of like came back around and picked her up, started running with her in my arms. The twin brothers, the closer and closer we got to the house, for some reason he just kept on falling back more and more, and then as soon as we hit the house he just completely disappeared in the woods again. So we got into the house and we started boarding up the walls with the little girl's mother and dad and this 15-year-old boy. I don't know who he is. We went into their back room and stuff, but for some reason when you go in on the right hand side, there was a very large window, and I don't understand why they thought that was safe whatsoever to go into a room with the largest window. But I just followed behind because I wanted to make sure they were like safe and stuff. Everything kind of went silent, and for some reason my character, hold on. Like, there's laughter filling up the house at this point once we settled in the back room, and then all of a sudden things got quiet. My perspective jumped to the little girls, and I felt how scared she was and how she just wanted to hide and stuff. So she booked it to her room. She had a wardrobe. The top part of it was like kind of like where she hung her stuff, and then the bottom part was like drawers and stuff, so she wanted to hide in there. There was a chuckle filling up the house as the girl was approaching towards her wardrobe, and I just see her little hands going up to open it, and her dad running into the room. No, don't go alone. Don't open your closet. And he kind of like pushed the little girl to the side, opened the closet himself, had 3 large scratches on his face, and I felt as if the father just didn't want to. I felt as if though like the father thought that the more we tried dodging these situations that were happening, the harder they would try to get us. I don't know what it was at this moment. So after the noises and marks, we put it together and we came up with Freddy Krueger. I don't fucking know why. Because it made sense. Closet, dreams, all that stuff. Scratches. The dad wasn't dead, but he was like severely injured. So we all went back to the room. My perspective went back to myself. And this very strange black fairy angel type figure swoops and dashes into the room, kills the little girl's mother. After the weird thing left, we shut the door, locked it, and we all ran into the closet of the back room for some reason. I don't know why. It felt safe, but yet not. We just didn't know what to do. So as we went into the closet, we went into this formation where the little girl was in the middle of us. I was the one back towards the closet door, and the dad and brother on the other side. And so I felt as if I needed to protect them, so if anything did come through the door and try to attack us, then I would have helped give them a leading start into doing something. I don't know. So the little girl and I clenched onto each other, and the family started praying, saying, "Dear Lord, please help us survive this grim day. Help us be safe and make sure our family members are in peace. Help us find the strength to go forward to get us out of this hard time." Give us a light to lead us through the right path. Forgive us. A loud cackle broke that sentence, and the family still continued and said, Father, for if we did wrong. Everything after that was done, everything went into complete silence. So we headed out of the closet with then all of a sudden the door was jiggling, banging. We heard giggling, demonic laughter, all this stuff, cackling. It started up again. It was all trying to force its way into the back room. So the father and I go up to the door, trying to keep it closed. So my laptop, I don't know how bad this angle is, how bad the lighting is, but my laptop decided to delete the ending of the story. I mean, not the story, my dream. So now I have to record it now, and I am kind of pissed off. So I left off where the father and I were trying to close the door and keep it closed. So the father was trying to snap me out of it because I was like kind of staring at the door handle while it was jiggling, and the father tapped me on the shoulder, wanting to go back into the closet and get things moving, and so I just could not snap out of it until they said, Ferisa, let's go back into the closet. And we positioned ourselves the same way that were positioned the first time we went into the closet. So I'm looking at my laptop. The banging kept going with the satanic laughter and cackling. I could feel like the hope withering away for the people that I was with in the closet, the daughter, the dad, and the boy. But they kept praying, and then I started because I was freaking out. And I was like, dear God, if you're actually there, can you please get us out of here? This feels like hell. I've never been so terrified. I don't want anyone to die. I don't want to see this happening to kind-hearted people anymore. It sucks. So God, if you're actually there, please be watching over all of us. We don't want this anymore. We all started hearing everything go silent again in the middle of my sentence, and I said, never again. We waited a bit to be certain if the coast was clear, nothing was gonna happen to us. We got out of the closet, we sat on the floor, and it felt like we were there for 10 minutes just holding our breaths. And we all let out a sigh of relief. Then Swoop came in, the angel demon thing again, over the little girl with a knife at hand. It started cackling. You thought you could get away from me, didn't you? Holding a knife over the little girl, and then stabbed her, and she died. I woke up petrified. I was crying right when I woke up. And I didn't know I was awake, so I sat up in bed. My door is usually open, and when I woke up it was closed. So that freaked me out. I didn't want to leave the room till I was very, very sure that this wasn't a dream anymore. So I was just typing up what had happened in the dream until I was reassured that I was fully awake now. I heard birds chirping, which was a big sign for me that I was awake, because no birds were chirping in my dream. So yeah, I finally built up the courage to get out of bed and to open the door. For that whole entire day, I was kind of afraid to open closed doors because of that dream. So yeah, that was my awful dream. And comment down below if any of you have had scary dreams or horrifying experiences. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. See you guys next week.